We have a school of about 460 kids from 7 to 9, and I believe last year we had 5 students who self-identified as transgender. Early on in the year, we noticed that we needed to do a little bit more to help support those students in our building. Teachers came and would talk about individual students and saying, hey, I had this quiet conversation with so-and-so. This is what they need from us. So we would do it. So for instance, the washroom, that was a little bit of an issue. There were students who weren't comfortable going to a washroom that was male or female. So we said, well, let's solve the problem. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go to the washroom?
I mean, sometimes having a key to a bathroom for a kid means a world of difference, or even just knowing they can access a key from you and having a safe space.
Another thing that we ran into was report cards. And we really wanted to make a conscious effort to make sure that their preferred names were always used. Whether that meant, whiting out the report card where it has the legal name and writing the name of their choice. Teachers in their comment banks changed the names on attendance lists. And that really made a difference. Like, we had parents contact us saying, when my child got their report card, they were like, I've arrived, I got this, look at my name. Like, even though it's not typed, it's there, that's my preferred name. So some of those situations, even though they seem small, were actually really big for students in the building.
We got the youth project to come in and do presentations. They called it the LGBTQI 101, so a lot of terms and a lot of just introductory information. There's a lot of kids you'd see during the presentation just nodding, or they, when the kid gets excited, same as when they're in the classroom about knowing an answer or knowing something, and they're shooting their hand up. They wanted to share, oh, I know someone, or I know what that feels like, and then to watch the students, that when the presentation was over, the amount of students who would go up and try to hang around a little few extra minutes to get that extra conversation.
What we do is completely student driven. Some years it's more about conversation, showing movies that students might not normally get to see in their families or in schools in general that have more of an LGBTQ plus theme to them. We attended the Youth Projects Conference last year, took a group of students there. So it's basically whatever our students have decided that they need to get out of the program.
Parents needed support and wanted support. Every family is in a different place on the spectrum of where, of acceptance, and some parents weren't there yet. We did some work with our school psychologist and our guidance counselor and Schools Plus, and we came up with the idea of doing a parent night for trans students.
We know from research that's been done in Ontario that parental support is really key for mental health for youth who are queer or transgender or identify within that rainbow community. The mental health rates are just astronomically better when there's parental support for their identity, which makes a lot of sense. Part of what we did with the workshop was connect parents with resources in the community.
I think parents got to hear what supports are out there through mental health, through various resources, through the youth project, what activities are available, things that they can become involved in. They also got to meet some people that are going through the same things they're going through, which I think validated their fears, their worries, am I doing this right? It was a really great night.
When I first started at EPEC, the principal at that time shared with me that she had organized an education session for her staff and the staff at a nearby school because she had been so inspired by the session for principals that Nolan Pike presented at. And so looking at EPEC, that's a school that has been in the process of building their cultural competence for trans youth over a period of a couple of years. And I think there's a different feel in a building, in my personal experience, where that process has been in place, underway for a while.
I feel like Eastern Passage is a really safe place. Like our school, we have a safe environment for people to be kind of who they are.
We really try and cultivate that as teachers, and that students recognize that and want to be who they are and not have to hide behind a mask of any kind.
Every teacher in this building really works at making safe spaces for students. Knowing that there are so many open doors in this building, I think really makes a big difference for them.
They know that I'm here at lunchtimes, that they can come into my room and have the space if they need a quiet place, if they need someone to talk to. I just try and build relationships.
Oh, I absolutely feel we're progressing to a better spot for many of our youth. I've never met so many students who are very quick to accept and acknowledge the personal pronoun of other students, regardless of how a student portrays themselves or looks, whatever their preferred pronoun is. I just hear the students referring to it like they don't even miss a beat.
Huge part of it is about teacher mindset too, and like our teachers here are second to none. I'm biased, but they're second to none, and I think they've modeled the openness and modeled how to kind of be good human beings. And you know, we have Citizenship 9 this year, and a lot of that is about, you know, treating people with respect, and I feel like our school, we do a pretty good job of it.